Put him down. Put him down. I'm not looking up.
3, 2,
I am Ross.
And I am Saul.
This is the Agony of Positivity Overslept podcast. I did not really plan the yawn right there, but it just naturally happened, so I went with it.
It sums up with what we're going to talk about first.
Yeah, we're probably going to be super wrestling heavy again this week. As my wife pointed out, she came out during the main event of night one of Wrestlemania last night, and I was like, oh my God, it's still on. Because I had turned on the pre-show and was just kind of like doing stuff around the house. But
Sure.
So to the untrained eye, WrestleMania was on from about 8 in the morning to 8 in the morning. It's still on right now. Like Austin, I think, is still drinking beers.
Sure.
Oh man, how was your week?
It's alright. I lost my keys. I can't find my keys.
Like
It's really
house
aggravating
and
me.
car, or
Yes, house and car keys. I drove back from work.
yeah,
So I had
had them. Yeah.
right. And ever since then, I don't know what I did with them.
When you got in the house, right?
Yes, I got in the house.
Okay. So they have to be in the house, or
Yes.
by the door.
Yes.
I don't know. Do you ever do the thing? Because I'll occasionally leave my keys like in a pair of pockets, and then put the pants like in the hamper or something. So
I checked all the pockets. I don't know. I'm stumped. I'm stumped, Ross.
I mean, you have dogs? Do they ever grab your keys if they're sitting out to be mischievous?
No, I mean, if they did, this would be the first time ever.
I once had my dog that passed recently one time grabbed my wallet off a counter.
Yeah.
And like it was actually like the TV stand because he was a little guy. But I put my wallet there, not thinking anything of it. He grabbed it and drug it under one of the couches. And like there would be no reason for me to ever look there. So after like a couple hours, just happened to look, and I was like, "You little jerk." But yeah, I have not lost my keys. So we did have. I can't remember if it was this week now or last week. It seems like forever ago. We had to replace the hot water heater, and that was very unfortunate. I was quite displeased because that's not a cheap operation.
No. Oh, did you pay someone to take it out?
Yeah, because I do not have the plumbing skills as far as like soldering and all that.
Sure.
Plus, everything where I'm at has the potential to become way more difficult than it needs to be due to the way they did the craftsmanship previously. So there's no, because theoretically you should be able to unhook it, get one same size, and rehook it. That isn't what happened. Like, it was two guys who were like 70, so they've been doing it a long time. It took them way longer, I think, than they thought it should take as well. So I would have had zero chance.
I knew a guy once. His hot water went out. And he tried to do it himself, and he couldn't do it. And I was like, "Well," he's like, "It was just heavy by myself." I was like, "Did you take the water out first?" And I did it with silence. I was like, "So you tried to dig it out with water?"
Well, that's impressive, because at minimum he probably had a 30-gallon tank.
I'm like, "Good grief!"
Like, dude. Yeah, no, it was strange though, because previously I had one at the old house done, and the guy doing it, he was able to pick up the empty one and just like drag it out and bring the new one in, no problems.
Sure.
These guys were like, I didn't realize how old they were. Like, they looked really good for their age, but then like when I found out the age, I was like, oh, that makes sense why they did it the way they did with like a dolly and a bunch of other stuff.
Sure.
And I was like, well, maybe because the new one, I was like, well, maybe it's heavier than what I got, but
yeah.
It all seemed like the same size. So, but all right. Well, there's been so much wrestling this week again because Mania made things crazy. You want to just jump into what's going on with all that?
Sure.
All right, here we go.
Well, I don't know what the hell's going on here, folks. Looks like he's just wearing blue pants.
This is a revolution.
Yes,
Take him off.
So obviously
Take him off.
there's going to be spoilers if you have not seen night one of WrestleMania or just assume any wrestling thing that has happened if you don't want to be spoiled by it. Assume that we are going to spoil it just to be safe.
Sure.
Yeah, so one of the bigger things, Cody has showed up.
Well, before we talk about WrestleMania, you want to talk about FTR
Briscoes?
Supercard?
Yeah, we'll go back to that. We'll hit Dynamite at some point probably, but we'll get like the other big stuff out of the way first. Yeah, FTR goes against the Briscoes. Due to me being at work when this thing kicked off, I did not get it. I didn't sign up for Honor Club because I couldn't tell for sure if it was part of Honor Club, because when I go to that website, it made me think that Supercard of Honor was not included with it. But I heard some people say that it was, but then I never heard people be like, oh yeah, that's correct. So I have no idea. So I was trying to find like a pirate stream of the match to watch. Which I couldn't find that either. So I just found like a couple highlight clips, and it looked pretty good, and the crowd seemed super into it. So did you have any luck actually finding like a stream of it or anything, or did you
No,
you pay the $30?
No, because like I told you, it was $30 to
See that match?
watch the Briscoes and FTR. I was like, eh.
Yeah. Now I wanted to see the Wheeler Yuta match.
Okay.
Because they have taken where I'm not super interested in Wheeler Yuta, but now with the Blackpool Combat Club, like they actually over the course of 3 or 4 weeks total, like just the little stuff they've done with him have made me much more interested in him.
Yeah.
Like it didn't take much. So for me, it would have been those two because I'm not really familiar with everything else. Seeing,
I got a little match preview there for you. It looks like.
Yeah. Let's do that. Yeah, I was excited for Joe to show up.
Yeah.
Now I did watch a decent amount of. They did like the media scrum, like they do with AEW and stuff, and that was good. I thought Joe was really good on that thing. FTR was good. Like it was super long, so I eventually just stopped watching it. So, yeah, like there's so many things going on this because I guess Tully is now with Khan and Taulioa. I can't pronounce that name ever.
Yeah, the what they call the Gates of Agony.
Yes.
Yes.
Which is a weird name.
Yeah.
I don't really know what to say about that. But yeah, you got like a Dalton Castle match. Swerve was on there. Brian Cage, I guess, is the other Tully Blanchard dude.
Yeah, so finally using him again, I guess.
I mean, that's fine. Like, there's something he can do. There's no reason he shouldn't be able to do something. Like, he looks good. It's just finding the right thing for him. Being with Tully might work out well.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell a hilarious story about Ninja Mac.
Okay.
Now, this is theoretically embarrassing for me, but I had never seen a picture of Ninja Mac.
Okay.
For some reason, do you remember they had, I think it was Willie Mac, who was with Teddy Long at one point, that had the White Boy Challenge?
Yeah, I do remember that.
For some reason, I got it in my head that the guy who was Willie Mac was Ninja Mac.
Okay.
So however long we've been hearing about Ninja Mac every so often,
Yeah.
for some reason I was imagining Willie Mac dressed up as a ninja. And that is obviously, like, I knew that probably wasn't it, but somehow I had just never seen a picture of Ninja Mac. So every time my brain filled in with that, and then you'd hear about some of the crazy stuff that happens in the matches, and I'd be like, well, he's really old to be doing that, I think.
They talk about a character they destroyed. The whole white boy challenge and everything. I mean, they seem to be pushing him, and then all of a sudden, you put Goldberg out there and just destroy him in one match.
Well, because that's what anyone who does anything good, that's what you got to do to them. So,
have fun, Cody. Have fun.
Yeah. But yeah, so like out of that whole thing, like, so Wheeler Yuta gets the pure title, which I'm assuming is going to show up when he holds it up in like Bryan Danielson's face or Regal's face. I mean,
my God, how many titles do they have in Ring of Honor? Because it seems like they have a lot.
They do.
I hope they get rid of some of that.
Like one of the things, so like the pure title, like somebody had posted a thing kind of going over the history of the belt. And like there was a period of time that it was possibly an equal to their world title.
Okay.
I wasn't watching a lot of Ring of Honor. Like it was just always impossible to see. But they'd go to like Dayton, Ohio, which is reasonably close to us and things like that. I knew people who went all the time, but anytime they were around, I was working, so I never really got to.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's see. So Jay Lethal beat Lee Moriarty. Just jumping back into this thing real fast. I wouldn't mind seeing that match. Like I'm sure it was good.
Sure.
But yeah, so I don't know how long the FTR Briscoe match went, but I'm assuming it was at least like 20 or 30 minutes, probably.
Yeah, I think it was.
Which is probably also why I could not find a pirate stream or video to watch it.
Yeah, they, I mean, everyone kind of suspected that they were going to win the belts because the Briscoes, I think, are blacklisted.
Hopefully that will be fixed. Like, because it seems like they basically, and from all accounts, like they've kind of had like a for real change, not just like a post an apology and go. But at the same time, I can see, because like whichever one it was talking about shooting people and killing people. Yeah. So that's more than just like, oh, he said something kind of bad. Yeah. Like, because I'm not necessarily a fan of like, oh, someone said something 20 years ago or 10 years ago. Let's hold them to that forever. But when you are threatening lives or threatening shooting, I can see why that one you might give a little more credence, just to better safe than sorry kind of thing.
Sure.
So, yeah, but what else? Yeah, Wheeler I'm interested now. What will the follow-up with Wheeler Yuta be? Chavo Guerrero showed up, Junior.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting because, you know, he said some things like, oh, they just didn't talk to me. It's like, I can't see Chavo getting the Marco stunt treatment. like that seems weird to me. So, but yeah, Samoa Joe is going to be back. He's all elite. I mean, this was probably the best way to bring Joe in. I mean, he doesn't get quite the fanfare that he would on like a Dynamite or something like that. Yeah. But I mean, it makes sense that he'd show up in Ring of Honor for it. So
now, do you want a Ring of Honor talent pool and an AEW talent pool, and that's it, or do you actually just want basically it's just freedom land? Anybody can come and go as they please. I kind of just want at least a certain people that are just, hey, that's the Ring of Honor guy. Hey, that's the AEW guy.
So
you know what I'm saying?
Because of how WWE has done the brand split.
Yeah.
And it always ends up being really dumb. I don't necessarily want that. However, these are legitimately two different companies.
Sure.
So I would be okay having Ring of Honor guys and having AEW guys if they did that. I would also be okay with, we might not see Samoa Joe on Dynamite for a while because he's currently got a story arc going on in Ring of Honor. So that's where he's going to be for that story.
Sure,
if you have like a story, like your Ring of Honor during this story arc, or your Ring of Honor if you hold one of their belts, I'm okay with that. And at the same time, if they just because I think having two storylines for a wrestler going on at one time, might be a little too much. I would prefer. It's Joe's. I'm using him as the example. Obviously, he's involved with Punk on Dynamite, but then over in Ring of Honor, he's involved with I don't know, one of the Briscoes. Yeah, I
don't want that.
That seems so you're able to in the same week deal with one of the Briscoes and Punk. No. Now, if he's involved with a big story in Ring of Honor, but he has just a one-off enhancement match on Dynamite or something, that's fine, whatever. But yeah, I don't want to see someone be I'm going to fight CM Punk on Dynamite, and then I'm going to fight the Ring of Honor champion a couple days later. Be that's a lot for a week.
Yeah, I don't want all that.
But yeah,
it's funny. I was reading about Tony Khan talking about Cage,
Nick Cage,
and Brian Cage.
Okay,
and
there's a lot of Cages.
Sure. There's a Brian Cage, and he's I couldn't tell Brian Cage what my plans were back in the fall. He's other than I had to break up him up with Team Taz. He's because I wanted him to go to Ring of Honor, but because of the deal and legality of it all, I could not tell him what my plan was.
Right.
So that's why he was in the dark for so long. He's obviously frustrated that I couldn't tell him. And I wonder if the same thing was going on with Cody. He could not tell Cody, "Hey, I'm gonna buy Ring of Honor pretty soon." You know what I'm saying?
If you want to be a big deal over there.
And it's just funny that legally he could not tell people because of leaks and stuff. I get it, but it's interesting.
Yeah, well, that whole thing is strange because obviously you don't want to tell somebody, because I'm sure there is someone that might have known, that he trusted that actually wouldn't say something.
Sure.
He might have told Punk, for example, knowing that Punk would understand that he can't tell anyone, kind of thing.
Sure.
I'm sure there's someone he told that technically he shouldn't. But so from all accounts, though, the Supercard was super good. So, if I can... I'll keep looking today. If I can find out for sure that I could sign up for Honor Club and watch it, I'd give them $10 one time probably to watch a lot of this event and then see what they're doing with it. And then who knows, maybe I end up canceling Peacock and then getting because we don't even know what they're going to do as far as weekly shows or monthly shows or how they're going to do Ring of Honor yet for sure. I don't think he answered that.
Yeah, I don't think he did either.
The media scrum where it's just... Yeah, I'm sure he's trying to work on something. But the media scrum was an hour and a half, and I think 40 minutes of it at least is just him answering questions, and I just didn't have time to sit through that yet. So, I don't know. Did you catch or follow any of the other crazy shows that were going on? The notable thing was Sean Ross Sapp, the one wrestling journalist dude or wrestling news guy or whatever, was in a battle royal. I did not know that Well, he had actually trained wrestling and has had matches.
Okay.
But he was basically like the bad guy dirt sheet rider, and then got eliminated. Obviously, like he's not gonna win it. But I thought that was kind of entertaining.
From what is this other wrestling promotions happening stuff?
Oh, like everyone. Like,
Or was this Supercard? I don't know.
no, it was. No, it was another. Yeah, it was like I think it was Joey Janela did a spring break, and they do the cluster instead of the thing. Instead of like a rumble, it's like a cluster. There's another word, but I'm leaving that out. So
I mean the only other wrestling promotion I would watch that is not mainstream would be NWA. So
yeah, I can't do. Like I want to like NWA, but like there's a period of time where I was like, yeah, I can get into this, and like them disappearing and everything, and then putting it behind the paywall, like it basically just that ended it for me. Like I just can't get back into it. Let's see. I want to try to find out the length of FTR versus the Briscoes.
Like you said, probably was 20 minutes. No,
Let's see. I'm using
this is a great podcast.
Oh yeah, dude, I'm so tired. I don't even understand. So I don't even feel bad from this. I can't believe that wrestling has to be the worst thing on earth to try to get like a specific answer. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, 27 minutes it looks like. So
Well, there you go.
yeah, like anytime you want any information on wrestling, like you can't find it. If you want to find out about like other sports like hockey, like in what period did so and so do this, like you'll have like an exact answer. Wrestling, it's like what happened on WrestleMania. We don't know.
Well, you would think AEW is a little bit better, but they're bad too. It's like Tony Khan comes from football that collects all this information. You think he would understand? Okay, let's get the information out to the people.
I mean, at least AEW, like I can go to the news tab and then results, and then I can kind of get there, and it's up reasonably quick. Like WWE is, I feel like the worst because I found their results, and I know they post them. It's just trying to find them. But I told you, I was like, oh, I found the actual WWE page for the results, and you were surprised.
Well, I don't understand why it's hard to just put a result thing on your website. I don't.
Like a tab across the top, yeah.
You're a multi-million-dollar company. You can't have someone do that.
And I don't know if they do this all the time, but like right now, if you go to the WWE, just WWE.com, there's a picture of Austin getting ready or in the middle of stunning Owens. And then to the right, there's the results tab, and then there's watch highlights right off to the side of it. I would, unless this has changed, because I'm not checking this all the time. It's usually just watch highlights, and the results you got to go somewhere else for.
Sure.
Like, because they always have like highlight clips, but it never tells you like who won the matches. And it always feels like I'm trying to like do like browser hacking to get to it. So maybe they got better and they actually started putting the results like on a results tab on their big pictures, but I don't know. I'd swear, and I'd bet you money that a year ago they weren't doing that regularly, but I could be wrong.
I don't understand with FTR winning the championship that the Young Bucks came out, did whatever they did, and now like it looks like on Dynamite they're wrestling for the belts.
I think the AAA.
Oh, so they're wrestling for the AAA. Okay, it looked like they were wrestling for the AAA and the Ring of Honor belt.
It might be. Let's see. I'll go to theirs and see if it says. I thought they were going to do it for the AAA, but I don't know. Yeah, they're not real good about that kind of stuff. Like until it gets closer to the show day. Yeah, because now that you've said that, I really don't know. I could have swore that it was just the AAA belts, but
The only reason why I can see why they would lose the AAA belts is that FDR doesn't want to go to Mexico.
yeah,
And fight the drug cartels and everything.
yeah. I don't think anyone should want to go. Okay, yeah, you're right. It says it's for the AAA and Ring of Honor tag titles.
Yeah.
So they accepted because FTR was saying they wanted to fight him again, and then I guess they've accepted.
So who won the first match? Was
Bucks.
it the Young Bucks?
Yep.
All right, so I assume FDR won this one.
Yeah, I would say so, and then we can get to where one day we do the third match, but I'm gonna guess they're gonna get 30 minutes if they want it.
Sure.
Because the first match was pretty good, but I mean it was still like pandemic-y.
That's pandemic wrestling.
Yeah, like it kind of doesn't count. But I think at this point, FTR is good guys. I think is going to work out really well.
Yeah.
Because I forget.
Especially if you bring Bret Hart in.
Oh, yeah. Even without him, I mean, they'll be fine. But yeah, that would definitely help some. But like, it's funny because I heard someone say this, and it's like, yeah, it is kind of true. If you take like a wrestler that's like actually like a high work rate wrestler that's good,
Yeah.
and give them like anything remotely good to do, whether they're like as bad guys, even like you eventually have to make him a good guy for a period of time because people are going to realize it and start cheering for him.
Sure.
Like Shawn Michaels, like that happened to him when they were reluctant to make him a good guy, and then it was like, oh man, we probably need to make this guy a good guy.
Yes.
Let's
Even
see.
though you're a bad guy in real life.
Yeah, from most accounts, like he got better, but he still has a little bit of an edge sometimes.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about Mania or Dynamite real fast?
Dynamite, it was kind of boring to me. I didn't. It was all right.
I thought it was good. Let me see here. I enjoyed. FTR Gun Club was fine for what it was.
Yeah.
The Yuta Danielson match is what I remember the most.
Yeah.
Darby Andrade was crazy because
Yeah, because I thought
everyone dies.
I thought Andrade was going to kill Darby a couple times.
Andrade looked good though. Like he's
Sure.
I don't know if he actually just gained pure size or if he just cut, but he was a monster. And him beating Darby was the right call there for sure. Punk and Max Caster I thought was fine. Like Max Caster has that like super jobber role currently where he puts on a pretty good match and then gets beat.
Yeah.
Undisputed Elite, I like that they put the tape over the belts. I thought that was funny.
My God, the whole thing. It's like take the belts off the boring people and give it to them because it's I don't know.
I have bad news. That's not happening yet.
Yeah.
I don't know what. I would assume those tag belts are going to go to Moxley and Danielson next. But I don't know. I mean, because I don't know. I mean, I could see just giving them to FTR too. But
Well, I assume wouldn't Red Dragon get it? I mean, you're leading up to that. Why wouldn't you have Red Dragon beat him?
because unless Cole has the world title, you don't need Red Dragon to have the tag titles. That would be my thought, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
Because they're absolute second fiddle to Cole, no matter what.
Well, I agreed, but it'd be a lot better than the Dinosaur and Jungle Dude to have it.
Well,
I mean,
you're gonna get CM Punk with the world title and then somebody else with the tag titles, unless they want to do the thing where Red Dragon gives Cole a hard time because they win the belts and he doesn't,
yeah,
and have him.
the whole storyline's stale. Because without Kenny Omega, it's kind of just in limbo right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they could have got like the Bucks back with Hangman, but
Yeah.
they, I like you were saying, like they probably want Bucks and Kenny against Undisputed Elite or whatever. So
Yeah.
Tony Storm showed up. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess I didn't really watch her that much in WWE, so I don't know how good she was.
Well,
or not good. Or
your opinion is probably higher as a result of that, because they did not do much with her.
Gotcha.
There are some people who are super critical of WWE, which I can't blame them, who would say that her highlight was getting hit in the face with a pie by Charlotte, followed by standing there waiting for Charlotte to hit her with another pie.
Well, did you see it doesn't look like an AEW event. She was somewhere doing interviews, and she looks either like just dead tired or drunk. I don't know which one it was, because the guy was asking her questions, and she was like, I don't know. If you get a chance, look it up. It
was Tony Storm?
Tony Storm. It wasn't an AEW event, I don't think, because I don't recognize the guy asking her questions. But, yeah, so she was either just really, really, really tired or drunk. I don't know which one it was.
Yeah, I'll have to look to see if she had like a recent one, or if it was an old, like, was it, could you tell if it was new or?
Oh, no, it was new, because I was asking her about who she wants to wrestle in AEW. So.
Okay.
So it's new. I don't know.
I'll see if I can find it at some point, figure out what's going on. I mean, she is Australian, I think, so it probably
like I said,
could very well sound like she's just drunk.
Well, no, I mean, the way she was acting, like,
yeah,
I can honestly, I could see her just being jet lagged and just really tired.
Yeah,
and especially if you're doing a media scrum and everything. So I don't know.
Yeah, especially if I don't know if she'd be staying here or she'd fly back home or what. But
I like how you thought that. I think that Australian people are just drunk with their accent.
I mean, I assume if every insect and animal around you had the potential to kill you, you'd need something to get through the day.
It's true.
Let's see. Well, let's do some Mania talk real fast.
Yep.
Let's see.
I didn't watch half the show, so it'd be really easy to talk about.
So, yeah, I turned this thing on in the early part of the pre-show, but I was just, like, puttering around the house doing stuff, and it was like my brother came out and was watching a lot of it with me, and he's like, well, they really make it a big deal. And I was like, yeah, I mean, they try their best to treat it as a big deal. I was like, but they do, like, the pre-show for, like, everything now.
Yeah.
So the pre-show is not a huge deal, but the way they had the stage set up and everything like that for it, like it came across as a bigger deal to him.
Yeah, because they tried to make it look like NFL.
Yeah.
Like pre-game stuff.
Which, if they were more, what's the word I want here? Honest.
Yeah.
I'd probably like it. Like, I like the idea of a pre-show, like something to put on, like while you're finishing getting ready for it or whatever. Sure. But yeah, and then when it finally started, like, it kicks off with like an injury, because you had Shinsuke and Rick Boogs against the Usos, and Rick tore his patella tendon, I guess. Did you see this?
I heard him talk about it, but I don't know if that was fake or real.
He's in a bad way.
Okay.
Because he did the spot where you have the guy up at the fireman's carry, and then the other guy runs in and jumps on top of the other guy that you have in a fireman's carry for some reason. Like,
okay.
Because it's basically one of those, like, it's like a John Cena spot where it's like, look how strong this guy is. And when the second Uso jumped up, he didn't get all the way up, so it wasn't like an even load. So he had way more weight on the right leg, I think. And just like, because the guy is like insane strong, so I have no doubt that he could hold those guys up. I think just unfortunate, his body failed the way he was doing it. Like, he was definitely uneven on the load, and he went down, and it was like, well, that seems kind of strange. So that's why, like, later on you'd hear them talking about like time issues or whatever.
Yeah.
Was because this match went short.
Well,
which is crazy for me to say. This match went short, so they had to cut the New Day match. Because wouldn't you think that would mean that you would, you know what, like,
It doesn't matter anyway because it was for the tag belts, and we all know how WWE feels about tag teams.
yes, except for specifically the Usos and New Day, apparently.
Well, yeah, you just need people to have the belt together, and every now and then, like, yeah, we'll just throw these guys together and let them wrestle.
I mean, they have fared better than the Intercontinental and the United States champion, so there's that. I was trying to explain to my brother that Shinsuke Nakamura, prior to WWE, was regarded as like one of the best wrestlers in the world. And briefly in WWE, when he was under NXT, was quite well, and now he's just like a dude.
But you know what? Apparently he likes it, so more power to him.
Which is good to him. Good for him, but it's just weird. So next match, this match made me angry. McIntyre and Happy Corbin.
Baron Corbin. Okay.
Yes.
I'm about to say, who the hell's Happy Corbin?
Well, he's happy now because he was like bum-ass broke Corbin there for a while.
Okay. Well, it could always be worse. He could be called dog food Corbin, I guess, or something.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, so I'm pretty sure every time these guys have ever fought, Drew has won.
Okay.
So, not really interested in seeing the match. Something they did during it. So, Corbin has the end of days, where he does that, like, rocking flatliner, basically. Like, I don't know what else you would call it. Pendulum flatliner, maybe.
Okay.
Never been kicked out of. Going back to NXT. So, years. Has a finish that's never been kicked out of.
Okay.
Drew McIntyre kicks out of it.
I thought his finish was that stupid kick thing he does.
No, that's Drew McIntyre's finish. The Claymore.
Oh, you're talking about Happy Corbin.
Yeah, Corbin does the end of days. No one's ever kicked out of Corbin's finish until now.
Okay.
This irritates me because the one thing Corbin had was an airtight finisher that no one's kicked out of.
Yeah.
And I don't know. To me, this is just like a throwaway. Like, it doesn't make Drew McIntyre a bigger deal because, like, right now, Corbin's like he's been on an undefeated streak, I guess, but
WWE has they got rid of finishers. It seemed like finishers are no longer a big deal.
Well, I think everyone kicks out of everyone's finish.
Sure. Which, I mean, for example, when you saw Hulk Hogan back in the day do his leg drop, you knew no one was getting up from that.
Yeah, except Sid.
Sure. Well, but that's what I'm saying. It was a surprise when someone did it.
Yeah.
Now everyone just no, it ain't gonna work on me.
Well, the thing with this match is, like, I knew and they talked about it on commentary as well. Like, so if you didn't know that, no one's kicked out of this, and the way things went when Corbin hit, I was like, they're gonna have McIntyre kick out of this. I was like, of the people he could be fighting that don't need one, I don't even know if it feels like a big deal. Two, Drew McIntyre is definitely not the guy who would need it.
Yeah.
It's like when we were talking about like Kenny and Hangman. People thought they were going to have Hangman be the guy to kick out of the One Wing Angel.
Yeah.
And they didn't. And it was fine, but it would have been like, at that point in time, it would have been a big deal for Hangman.
Yeah.
Now, if they were to have another match, he wouldn't be the guy. He wouldn't need it.
Nope.
Like, he's had like a relatively successful title run. Had some really good matches with some people. Now it's like, well, if someone's going to kick out of it, it needs to be a guy that needs something, and it'll still mean something, because in AEW, the way they do it's a little bit different. Kicking out of poor Baron Corbin's finish, the only thing he has left.
Yeah.
All right. Did you see Miz and Logan Paul?
So I was not watching it. This pay-per-view. Even if I was watching it, I probably would not watch this match because I can't stand the Miz and Logan Paul. I can't stand him at all.
Right.
So,
the Logan Paul part, I'm not like a huge fan of the guy, obviously, but he did an excellent job at being a bad guy pro wrestler.
Well, his outfit, the way they made him look on the WWE Twitter thing.
Yeah.
I thought Kenny Omega was there
Yeah.
because at first I was like, "What the?" And I was like, "Oh, that's that Logan Paul guy."
Yeah. I saw a few people say that, and I thought that was funny. The one thing I hate to give credit to this, but more and more people do the move. When Eddie Guerrero used to do the 3 suplexes, his hip action was very quick and smooth.
Yes.
Logan Paul might have the closest hip action to Eddie Guerrero that I have seen.
Really?
Anytime you watch people do that, like Santana especially, it's very slow and clunky compared to, like, I've not seen anyone match like how Eddie does it. And I think that's why I always hate people doing the move. It's like, are you not watching tape on how he did it? Because the fluidity that he had, and like, I'm not the hugest Eddie Guerrero fan, but the way he did that movement was good. But yeah,
well,
Logan
if you're going
Paul,
to do something to honor the guy, then you need to do it the way he did it. You know?
yeah, like, just go back one day and like watch Eddie Guerrero do him and watch his hip action, and then pay attention when people do the move, and you'll just be like, oh man, they're not even in the same like ballpark.
Yeah.
Logan Paul still not there, but it was honestly better than a lot of guys do. But they beat Ray and Dominic, which is fine. But what I thought was weird is I assume Miz turned face at the end because he turned on Logan Paul. So, I mean, that makes him a good guy, right?
Sure.
Like, I know to you they're both just like bad guys, but logically, Logan Paul was clearly a bad guy in this whole thing, and he's not the wrestler, so Miz has to be face. I know they brought Shane McMahon back, so maybe they plan on just ruining the Miz again, making it even worse.
Did they really bring Shane McMahon back?
I don't know. There are things that he was supposedly being brought in for Mania weekend, but it was probably more they bought him a plane ticket kind of deal, is what I heard one person say. And I was like, yeah, all right. Bianca and Becky, did you watch this match?
I think I may have watched the end of it.
Yeah. It was good. Like, it held my attention pretty well. Like, Bianca is crazy athletic, and I mean, that's it. She took like a shoot kick to the face off the top rope, which was like, I don't know if you saw that. Becky went for like the Molly go round where you do like the front flip, and just absolutely drilled Bianca in the face, it looked like.
Yeah.
Our big moment of the night, Cody and Seth Rollins. I'm sorry. Seth freaking Rollins.
Yes.
Because when you refer to Seth freaking Rollins, you got to make sure to refer to him as Seth freaking Rollins.
Hey, if you played a drinking game and you had to drink how many times they said frickin' on there, you would be drunk because,
yeah. Well, and I get, because there's the joke on like the Bruce Pritchard podcast and all the Conrad stuff where it's like pronouns, pal, because you don't want to refer to the person as him or her. To avoid any confusion. And that does make sense when you're talking. Like, I get that. However, when you add freaking into... Because saying Seth Rollins over and over is one thing. But now I counted 4 instances. Once it got to the point to where I just couldn't take it anymore, I counted 4 times. Byron twice just called him Seth Rollins.
Yeah. And
I think Corey was out there as well. One time he called him Seth, and one time he called him Rollins. Other than that, I'm pretty sure it was Seth freaking Rollins every single time.
How I would have ran it. The booth, I'd be like, okay, you got Cody, you have Seth. No one's going to get those 2 names mixed up to say Cody, to say Seth. And there you go.
Yeah, you see, Seth freaking Rollins is his trademarked name. So you have to say the full name every time.
Yeah,
but my brother noticed it too, and he was like, "That is really a lot."
I mean, it takes you out of the match. I'm just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, well, they'll do stuff that it drives me crazy that they say it all the time.
Shaky cam, and then this.
Yeah, well, and it's funny. Like, I've spent more time talking about them saying Seth freaking Rollins a million times than Cody.
Yeah.
But when it was occasionally used, like when he was still just Seth Rollins, and he'd occasionally or someone would use like the Seth freaking Rollins part, it was whatever. Now the only thing I can assume is if he's supposed to be the bad guy, they want it to be obnoxious, which it is. But it's the kind of obnoxious where I don't want to watch it, not the kind of obnoxious that makes me root against him.
Yeah.
Like, Seth's too good for me to root against, like, in that sense. Like, you can get me to where, like, I'd boo him because he's the bad guy, that's fine. But this makes me just not want, like, I want to zone out.
Well, and like you and me talked about, I think, last week or 2 weeks ago, Cody's beat a guy who could not win a match in the last month.
Not smart enough to go to Vince McMahon to ask for a match.
Like, good job.
Yeah, like it. The way they approached it, it did not feel like a big deal to me.
No,
or it didn't feel like he beat someone who's a big deal.
Well, and I just. Well, and like the one guy said on Twitter, he's like, the AEW independent Cody Rhodes debuted for WWE, and that Cody Rhodes was all about it's them versus us type thing. Well, you're part of them now, so what's your gimmick going to be now? So.
Yeah. So I am looking. Let me send you this. Since we're talking about this, and I feel like just piling on WWE. So on Pro Fight Database, you can go to wrestlers and Seth Rollins, and it has their recent matches. I am scrolling down.
Yeah.
And now this has live matches as well.
Good grief.
Are you still scrolling, trying to find a win?
Wow.
To show more matches, you got to change. I hope someone's like, "Wait, what are they doing?"
So he's lost every match.
I'm trying to go back.
4th.
I'm going back further because he has to have won. Hold on! Oh my God. Okay, so this is where I'm at. I changed it. So August 23rd, 2020. SummerSlam.
Wow.
This can't be right.
I mean, he hasn't even won matches on Raw. That's insane.
I gotta look at something here. No, this can't be right. Like the way they're saying it.
I don't know, man. I think it might be right.
I think if it says no, because okay, so if he's on the right side, he won.
Okay.
Or I'm sorry. If he's on the left side, he won. If he's on the right side, he lost. Okay, this was looking way worse than I thought. Yeah, because it's basically Cody Rhodes defeated Seth Rollins by pin. So he's won a couple matches.
So he beat Kevin Owens March 14th.
Was the last single?
Yes.
Because he's had a few matches where him and Kevin beat like 3 ways on like the house shows.
Yeah.
But okay, so all right, I was like, there's no way he's not won a match since August. Like that's just impossible. But yeah, so on March 14th, Kevin Owens beat Rollins. Live shows, Finn Balor was beating him in a 3-way.
Yeah.
So they lost on Monday Night Raw against Randy Orton and Riddle in that 3-way. So they lost there. I'm just looking for like the big shows at this point. Roman beat Seth at the Madison Square Garden show. And then February 28th, I think, was the last time that he actually had like a televised win, which was him and Owens beat Chad Gable and Otis, and that led to that triple threat match, I think is what it did. And then like the week before that, they had beaten Orton and Riddle. So they basically beat both teams and went from there. But yeah, then Elimination Chamber, he obviously didn't win there. So since like the end of February, he hadn't won anything on television. So
His real name is Colby Lopez, really.
Yep. Yeah, that's why he was joking, like when people were chanting Cody. They're like, it's awesome that they're chanting Colby for me. So, okay. No, that was horrifying for a second because their format was strange to me. And I thought, oh my God, it's worse than I thought. But yeah, so I mean, it's been since like February that he's won anything on television.
Regardless, Cody beat a guy who's...
Oh yeah, and Cody showed up. Like, and beat a guy that hasn't won since February on television. And is too dumb to ask Vince McMahon for a match at WrestleMania, apparently. So, Cody's still not using the pedigree. I don't like the 47 Crossroads finish, personally.
Yeah. It looks like that move is worthless.
It's not a good move. And, I mean, obviously, I don't think they're going to let him use the Tiger Driver 98, which I think is a fantastic move. But Cody didn't get to bleed. Like,
man, that's probably going to hurt him the most.
Yeah. I mean, did you see his forehead? Bleed? It looked like he tried.
I can't bleed every match. Well, come on.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good match. Like, I'm glad that Cody won because if not, like, what's going on?
To be honest with you, I hope that he would lose.
Well, when Seth hit the pedigree, I honestly thought for a second that might be the finish. Like, they got me with that. But who knows? Like, we'll have to watch it because every single person, and I'm kind of included with it. As soon as like things get really bad for Cody, everyone's going to be so quick to be like, I told you so. Now, the difference is I'm just going to like say it here on our little podcast. I'm not going to be like on Twitter, like, hey, Cody Rhodes, you dumb son of a, you remember when you did this? And, like, I'm not going to be one of those people, but.
Yeah. I mean, look what's happened to Nakamura. I mean, apparently he's okay with it, but
yeah.
AJ Styles, I mean, whatever.
I would argue AJ until he was with Omos or Osmos or whatever for however long, he's done all right. Like, he's more the exception than the rule, I would say. Like, AJ has been treated surprisingly well.
All right, Finn Balor, we'll go with Finn Balor.
Yeah, Finn Balor. He almost did good because he beat like Roman and Seth back to back to win the title, but his shoulder got destroyed, and then it's just all been downhill from there. All right, Charlotte Flair and Ronda. Did you know that Charlotte Flair has never tapped out, even though she had an entire feud trading submissions and tapping out? I was surprised that Charlotte won this match.
Yeah, I thought Ronda was going to win it.
I don't know where they're going.
No. That pretty much sums up all of WWE. I don't know where they're going.
Yeah. So did you watch the Austin Owens match?
I watched it, but I'm just like, it's an old dude
beating up a young dude.
It's just, I mean, you could tell, Austin was going to do most of the beating.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh my God, he's doing a suplex. And I'm like, really? I've never seen Stone Cold ever do a suplex.
He occasionally did one, but yeah, once he went to the brawling style.
Now, to be fair, Stone Cold, at least to me, I never really viewed Stone Cold as a wrestling. He was never a Dean Malenko,
right?
So I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why, back in the Attitude Era, I was never the biggest Austin fan because it was like, he's he's exciting, I guess, but he wasn't the kind of wrestling that I liked. But I mean, it's weird because like he had his final match, but then he came back for this, and I do kind of get, like, he even said, he was like, I could have my first match here and my last match here, so I could kind of see that. I'm sure they gave him a stupid amount of money for a match, and I mean, he, for what they did, like the no holds barred is a good way to, allow you some leeway to make it better than if it was just a straight up match. Sure. Like, I think Owens did a real good job with Austin to make it exciting and a happy ending.
Sometimes it felt like he was being like Shawn Michaels, just overdoing some of this stuff.
Yeah. I mean, his stuff was within the realm of reality by comparison to like HBK and Hogan.
Yeah.
Like, that's the one that always comes up, but it was fine. I was entertained by Austin drinking throughout the match because it was like, well, that's weird. Like, got to get that beer of yours over. But yeah, Austin wins. I think this is one of the cases where, like, I don't think it kills Owens to lose to Austin. Like, I think when Owens lost to what's his face, Goldberg,
yeah,
I thought that was way worse for him than this would be. Like,
sure. Yeah,
because that was like he lost the belt to Gold, like, seriously.
Yeah,
this was he called out Austin for a match at Mania that you just knew was going to be a spectacle more than anything.
Sure.
So
yeah, it was all right. Yeah,
like, I mean, it was cool. Like, crowd was into it. They didn't have to. They didn't have to use any fake noise on that one.
Yes.
Are you excited now that we've had what felt like 1,000 hours of WrestleMania? Are you excited for night 2?
Just for Cowboy Brock. I wish I could just fast forward it, all of it to Cowboy
Yeah, just
Brock.
wait till. I mean, you could just wait till the end. Like, I'll have it on again because it's silly not to at least have it on, I guess. But like, what's crazy is I saw someone posted and I couldn't find it because I guess it was technically 4 hours. But there was like an hour and 40 minutes of wrestling, and the rest of the time was like promos or commercials.
Sure.
That seems insane.
So because we got to call it short here pretty soon, but so tonight, Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston versus Sheamus and Ridge Holland. I have no idea who Ridge Holland is.
He's Sheamus's lackey.
Okay. I assume Woods and Kingston wins this, I guess.
Yeah, I would think so.
Johnny Knoxville with Sami Zayn. I hope Sami Zayn wins this. I mean, Johnny Knoxville, really?
Well, the entire Jackass crew is going to show up.
Oh, God.
So I would give that to Johnny Knoxville.
Okay, Dancing Table Boy and Austin Theory.
Austin Theory is winning that, I think.
Let's hope.
I mean, I could see a world where they have Pat McAfee win. Do you think so? Now, I don't feel that Omos is a big deal, but they've definitely tried to make him a big deal.
Well, I heard them comparing him to Andre the Giant, which he's not.
Yeah. At this moment, Andre at the end of his run was still felt more special to me, just to be real honest here.
Yes.
Do you think that they're just like, okay, maybe this isn't going to work out, and they give Bobby Lashley the big win? Or do you think they just keep riding it with Omos and he crushes Lashley?
What I would do is have Bobby Lashley win because I think Bobby's a much bigger deal than what WWE does with him.
Right.
But who knows?
I'm going to go with they're going to keep on hitched to Omos.
Sure. I mean, the dude can't do a promo, so he's like half the people in AEW. He just, I don't know. He's just boring.
I've heard it tossed around that maybe MVP turns on Lashley, and then you have a mouthpiece.
So, he needs it, yeah. So okay.
Yeah, he needs something for sure. What do you think? You think RK Bro is going to take the belts? That's what
Sure.
rather, yeah.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's tag team wrestling.
I mean,
We all know.
I mean, the people who have been, or this particular match, like,
Yeah.
they've actually all been tag team for a decent amount of time. Like,
Yeah.
which is surprising. Alpha Academy is the newest, but I mean, they got like matching tights and like a real tag team.
Yeah, but it's WWE and tag teams. So
Yeah.
I mean, you know how I feel about that.
Let's see, women's tag team match. Now this is the epitome of what they do. I don't even know about this one. I'll be honest, I can't care about the women's tag team champions.
Because there are no tag teams in women wrestling, so these are all thrown together groups.
More or less, yes.
Yeah.
The
I don't
all right,
care.
Edge, AJ Styles.
I guess AJ, just because I like AJ more than I've never liked Edge, so I'm gonna go with AJ.
Yeah, I think I want AJ to win, but I think Edge's based on they're clearly doing something if he started wearing a suit. Like, they have bigger plans for Edge at the moment than AJ.
Oh, is he wearing a suit now?
Yeah, he's like.
I know he was kind of looking more and more like Malachi Black there a little bit.
Yeah. So I think that based on that, they probably have a direction for Edge, and AJ Styles is just going to be like in that holding pattern thing.
If you're Malachi Black, are you like, why is everyone stealing my look? Because Undertaker kind of did it at the Hall of Fame thing.
Well, to be fair, if you put Undertaker in a suit, he's clearly going to wear a black suit. Like,
doesn't matter. That's Malachi's thing now. This is how it is.
Take him to wrestler's suit court.
Yes. I don't know. It just seems like people.
Do you think there's any chance that Brock beats Roman?
See, I don't know who I want. I don't know who I want to win this. To be honest with you.
Well, if going off rumors and all that, if they really do plan to do Roman against The Rock, I would assume Roman wins and is not getting beat until he goes against The Rock.
I don't think The Rock's going to beat him, though.
I don't either. But I'm saying until he fights The Rock, there's no chance that he's going to lose. Which is going to be a really, like, even as super casual, I'm kind of over the Roman run now. So the next year is going to be rough. Is what I think is going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it'd be neat to see Roman and The Rock fight, but I mean, The Rock's not going to do a long time run in WWE. He's a big Hollywood guy.
Yeah, so, it's going to be that one match. And that's if they can get him to do it. And there's no telling.
Sure.
He could agree to it now, but in 6 months, he could get some offer for a movie that they're like, yeah, but we can't have you do this because
I've signed up to do 3 more crappy Disney movies. I gotta do that.
Yeah, but they're giving me like $1 billion, so I can't risk getting hurt.
It still baffles me that he's the highest paid actor.
People like him. I mean, Chris Pratt was also the voice of everything for a while there. So I mean, he's the voice of Mario.
Chris Pratt has more talent than The Rock. I'm sorry, it's just true.
I think people would actually debate you on that one.
Oh no, you can't, because The Rock is just, he's a big dude. He's the same character in every movie. So
I mean, he even wears like the same outfit at this point, where it's like the olive green shirt and a hat.
Sure.
But yeah. So I don't know. The only way I could see Lesnar winning is if they 100% know that Rock isn't going to be doing Mania next year. Yeah. In which case they might have Lesnar win, which still seems like a waste to me that you would give the giant rub of beating Roman to the one guy that constantly beats Roman.
I just hope Brock talks. Because now they've given him an accent. It's great.
And a cowboy
have you heard
hat.
that?
Yeah, no, it was funny.
The whole cowboy. Now he has the accent. I'm like, wow, you're going full out with the cowboy. Now he's him riding a bull. Hope he rides a bull tonight.
And they use like some chalk to make it blue.
Yes.
Make it like Babe the Blue Ox is what I'm thinking there.
That's what I'm saying.
That'd be fantastic. That would definitely one up Hangman riding a horse.
Yes, have Brock come out on a bull.
Bull, an ox, a brontosaurus. They've used their Saudi Arabia money to create a dinosaur for him to ride. I mean, he'd have to win at that point. So,
yes.
All right. Well, there's our predictions for the thrilling second night of WrestleMania that I'm going to have on for some reason. But I mean, it wasn't a bad show. But I'm just not into their way of doing things. So
no, I am not.
Like, I can't pretend to be excited, basically.
Sure.
But I'll still watch it. And, like, I've definitely watched worse shows than what Mania was. It's just, like, the build just doesn't feel there for a lot of the matches. Like,
it just seems like WrestleMania back in the day was a lot better.
I don't know if that's nostalgia to me. But, like, it was a tighter card because, like, again, they had less than 2 hours of wrestling on this one, and they cut a match. You could have definitely – there's matches that just don't need to be on the card.
Yeah, I mean, and you know me, I'm not a WWE person.
Yeah.
But, like, Stone Cold and Shawn, that seemed like a big thing to me.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a WWE guy. Now it's just gimmicky.
Yeah, I think
just,
too, the way they do like so many pay-per-views now, like over time it has made it worse, but it's hard to say. Hopefully, like there'll be someone who will go through here and figure out like you could make one card out of this and just get rid of stuff, which I get they want to get everybody on the WrestleMania card, but it used to be it was a big deal to be on the WrestleMania card because it was the big show and everybody was like trying to get like the best thing going for it. Now it's just like, we're just going to do what we can to put everybody on here. We got 2 nights. There's stuff that just the way they treat the women's tag belts, that match doesn't need to be on WrestleMania.
Yep.
I mean, the men, they can't even get their secondary titles on. So,
yes.
Poor Finn and Damian Priest, I think it is right now. Like, wow, you guys. Like, you couldn't figure out a way to have them at least have a match? Like, get rid of something here?
I'm sorry, if Table Boy is beating out the Intercontinental Championship, that tells you how far the Intercontinental Championship has fallen.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, we go back to the old days with, like, Brett, Shawn, Razor, Texas Tornado, Mr. Perfect. Like, that was our youth. So, to us, that belt should always be a big deal, I'd say. And it just isn't.
Nope.
It's like, how? Even the United States title in WCW always felt like it never felt as big as the Intercontinental title to me, but it's still like it had that period where it was this is a big deal, and now
until Scott Hall threw it in the trash.
Well, yeah, you know,
or was it a TV title? He threw one of them in
it might have been the
trash.
TV title, but yeah, they went through that weird like each company has done those like unify the belt kind of stuff or get rid of stuff. European title had quite the history, but
yes.
All right, well, we will wrap it up there, but we will return probably next week. I'm thinking about retiring though and becoming a professional no-build Fortnite player.
There you go.
I've got to where I can kill one person per match. That's doing pretty good.
Yes.
For children who have more experience than me. But all right, well, we will talk to you guys next week.
See ya.